I have lighting issues every time.
Okay, no.
It's always lighting issues around here. Always. But that's okay. We're going to figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. It is CGIF. It is Freestyle Friday. And the big showdown's on deck. The 7-1 Philadelphia Eagles. The 5-2, soon to be 6-2, maybe Dallas Cowboys. Hope you got your popcorn ready. Okay. Hope you got everything that you need for refreshments to be locked in. Let's go ahead.
BJ Nix, are you here?
Present.
Present. Spoonie, Timothy Spoonie.
Present, sir.
Margaret and Mary. Do we have a Margaret and Mary?
Yes. And the margaritas.
All right. Class here. We're ready. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
And the Cowboys have it. It's Parsons on top of it.
Yeah, it's Friday, man. We are back in the building. Bye week be damned. Lots of things happening. Another Friday be damned. Things were matriculating, happening in a particular way. So we've missed out and rocking with y'all. Thank you for the due diligence, if you will, Cowboys Nation, and the patience as we're finally back to business. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit the like, hit the sub. It's free 99 to go out here and share as we keep building the channel and everything else. Hopefully everybody's had a fantastic weekend. You ain't got to work this weekend, right? You're jettisoning off and ready for some good college football. We got great matchups Saturday. We got great NFL matchups. This is Cowboys and Eagles, but we got great matchups Sunday as well. Man, I hate it right in the here and now. I'm telling y'all, I have not had to get up early for a game across the pond, but I probably going to have to wake up for this Chiefs-Dolphins game Sunday. But neither here nor there. With that being said, my guy Spoonie, man, how we doing this Friday, bro?
I'm under the weather, but I am not missing Cowboys-Eagles week. I haven't said nothing in 2 weeks. I have a lot to say this evening. Let's get ready for it.
All right, my guy Dom. Yeah, I was in the space, so I was like, oh yes, we need to deliver no sermon in about 2-3 weeks, and here comes the Eagles. I can't wait for the end of the show tonight. Dom was out here living his best life. Bear claws to start the day, tamales to end the day at school. How we doing this Friday, brother?
Hey, I got another dozen ready for the Spoonie sermon. So I saved the ones that are poultry, the chicken. Remind me of the birds that we're about to play, so I can just unravel it, smell that goodness, and just take it in as my brother Spoonie lay it down for all of us to get these Cowboys hyped up for this game.
That's a big thing for. And of course, Sandberg in the bill says, more importantly, O is off the IR, which he is. The thumb is good to go now. How are we doing this Friday, good friend?
Man, I couldn't be doing any better. I can't wait for this weekend. My 8-year-old football team as their first playoff game. It's on the road. That's okay. We're gonna upset them. And what's kind of funny is it's the East Paulding Raiders versus the Walton Raiders. So the kids are like, we got to show them we're the real Raiders. Like the name, they're all hyped up, which is cool. So I have a playoff game Saturday. Then Georgia's playing Missouri, which is a big matchup because Missouri always plays Georgia close.
Yeah.
Two ranked teams. It's one of the tough measuring stick games Georgia has left on the schedule. And then we have Cowboys-Eagles football. And Nick, I do want to remind you in the chat, because Nick said he might have to wake up early for this game on Monday. We have a time change. You'll get an extra hour, sir.
That is true. That is true.
So you should be able to make it. Remember to
Yes.
set your clocks on your microwave oven or whatever you got to do manually. Saturday, Sunday, either one. So yeah, we got the time change. I can't wait, man. This is gonna be a good week of football.
Yeah, it's a good weekend of football. And what's fantastic is I just had to change my battery in my car last week. And as I changed the battery, the time was an hour behind. I was like, I'm not going to waste my time changing this. I just wait a week and it's going to be just fine. I'm just ahead of schedule. That's all. I'm just ahead of schedule. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, in case y'all didn't know, the Rangers won the World Series, and there might have been a parade out there in Arlington. So salute to my girl Ace, who was out there. Tons of people I know out there turning up. Apparently 500 to 700K getting it in. Yeah, looked like fun. I wish I could have been there. But yeah, not to be remiss of, the Rangers' first time in their history getting there and winning. Oh, not getting there, but winning it, I should say. All right. Well, it's it's NFC East Showdown.
Real quick, before we get off of that, this year in baseball proved without a doubt what you hear all the time in football. The regular season matters because you have to win games to get to the playoffs, but the playoffs are a completely different beast. The best record in baseball eliminated in the first round. Second best record in baseball eliminated in the first round. Third best record in baseball eliminated in the first round. Fourth best record in baseball eliminated in the first round. None of the top seeds made it far in the playoffs, and none of them advanced to the World Series. The Rangers did that. The Diamondbacks did that. So, again, you want home field advantage if you can get that. You want the first round bye if you can get that. You want to be rolling as you get into the playoffs if you can get that.
Right.
But not always. Sometimes it's just getting hot at the right time, and the Rangers did that. So, congrats to them.
Yeah, I'm
good.
Yeah, Arizona too. There was a guy, I think he placed it was either $50 or $500 bet on Rangers Diamondbacks in the World Series, and he made a cool $250,000 off that bet. Holy bejesus. Unbelievable. Salute to that guy. Salute to him. Oh my God. But get hot at the right time. Definitely. And we talk about that all the time in the NFL anyways, right? You don't want to be playing your best ball early in the season. You want to be playing it down the stretch and getting ready. Now, we're not to that stretch run yet. The Cowboys have had some hiccups, obviously, early on, whereas Arizona, San Francisco. Oh, but opportunity here to make some headway within the division on the road here against Philly Sunday afternoon. Man, these are the games, we talked about this, we talk about this a lot. Man, you want to be in these kind of games, right? You want to get battle tested during the year. You want games to matter, and have this, is it a playoff game? No. Is it the end all be all? No. But a little extra sauce. It's divisional. It matters. In that realm, you like to be a part of that. Sure, you had a test in San Francisco. It is what it is. It's over. The Cowboys have won 2 straight now. And now here's your next test here with Philly. It's the biggest game of the year for the Cowboys until the next biggest game of the year for the Cowboys. So it'll be intriguing. And we're going to talk about how they have opportunity to go out here and get the job done, and where we can attack and what they're looking like and what's going on there. So I'm super excited about that standpoint. So let's kick it off. Where you want to start? You want to start Eagles offense or Eagles defense, guys?
The D.
You want to start? Oh, pause. He said the D. Fair enough, Dom. We'll take it away. Let's talk about this Eagles defense then.
Well, the big question was about Jalen Carter. He's been a phenomenal draft pick, phenomenal player for them. We know the history behind how he was able to slide to them, but the injury concern. So last week, you didn't get to see him play. He had the back issue, but now it looks like all things are clear for him to be able to play against the Cowboys, which is why it's going to be so important for us to have a healthy interior ourselves. Zach Martin is still Zach Martin. He may not be the Zach Martin of year 3, but he's still one of the best guards in all of the game. And then we have a stout guard on the left side in Tyler Smith. So you're hoping with the combination of Biotish there in the middle that we can be able to contain that Eagles interior defensive line. But with Fletcher Cox, with Carter, I mean, you got a stout front there. And then Jordan Davis, former Bulldog, who's also helping them man the middle. He's banged up. Don't know if he's going to be able to be there with full status, full play for them. But it all starts right there in the interior for them. And so you got a guy that many are kind of likened to the kind of impact that Micah Parsons bring, and Hassan Reddick. The guy's been on fire the last year and a half to 2 years. You're talking about a guy with 20-plus sacks in the last couple of seasons, consistently gets pressures. He started off a little bit slow this year, but now he's cranking it back up to what he was doing last year. And then add another Georgia Bulldog, Nolan Smith, who comes in sparingly, but yet he seems to pick up plays and bring a spark to that defense. So overall on their front, they just got guy after guy, wave upon wave of good talent. And so this battle is going to be won in the trenches, but their defensive line is the strength of that entire defense.
Yeah. And then it kind of gets us to the second level here, Professor O. Right, they brought in Zach Cunningham, and then they bring in Rashad Evans, who's now over here with the Cowboys, for what it's worth. Nakobe Dean, was his time this year injured. He's coming back. What are you seeing here with the linebackers here for Philadelphia to get past that line that Dom talks about?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the challenge, is getting past that defensive line. The run defense has been incredible this year, but also teams have just kind of abandoned the run early in games and aren't trying. Quick little graphic so you guys can see what we're talking about right there. Here you go. All right, so if you look at the bottom of the screen, opponents have rushed on the Eagles 28.8% of the time. So when we talk like healthy run-pass ratio, you hear like 60-40, 55-45. Teams are 71-29 against the Eagles. Like that's not what you want to do, because when you're playing a team like that, you're just allowing those pass rushers, the guys Dom just mentioned, plus Josh Sweat, plus Brandon Graham, all those guys to just pin their ears back and attack your defense or your offense repeatedly, and that's how you have turnovers. That's how you make mistakes. That's how you get behind the chains and down a distance. So their front defensive line is definitely formidable. Their linebackers are a lot, I would say, are a lot like Dallas, where it's kind of a concern, but the last few weeks for the Cowboys, Damone Clark and Marquise Bell played really well. So linebackers have been, trending upwards for us. And then we have Rashaan Evans, got to see him 8 or 9 snaps last game, so we'll probably see more of him this week. But yeah, their linebackers aren't playing great football. Nakobe Dean, go Dogs, love him, but he's not having a great season. He's battled injuries, missed most of last season. When he's out there, he's been susceptible to getting beaten in the passing game. So you can definitely target him. And they kind of fluctuate with their coverage matchups. They're right in the middle of the pack in terms of man coverage, right in the middle of the pack in terms of zone coverage. They're significantly worse in zone than man. So when you catch them in man, attack the linebackers. When they're in zone, attack the cornerbacks. It's kind of a weird defense. Yeah, the front seven is definitely going to be a challenge overall. But the linebackers, if you can get them matched up with Jake Ferguson, like this might be a big game for him, especially if you have him on either of their linebackers. That's my hot route. I'm targeting him right away. And if you're able to get past the linebackers, their cornerbacks are not playing well. I know they have big play Slay. He's been a really good cornerback in the NFL for a long time. He's not having a great season. On the opposite side, they were excited to have Bradbury back. He's had a terrible season. He's been absolutely terrible this year.
Bertos alert.
You can target him with no problem.
Anthony Brown.
Yeah, good analogy there. And then you have great analogy. I'm going to let you circle back to that one in 1 second, Dom. Their safeties, they did trade for Kevin Byard. He's one of the better safeties in the NFL. We don't really know what he's going to do to their defense yet, because we only got to see last week, and that was on short notice. He did get beaten as well in that game. Overall, their secondary is not what you would expect it to be compared to how they were last year. So there's definitely some opportunities. I hit a printer on accident with my knee, so if you guys hear a crazy noise, I don't know how much thing it. Let me just unplug it. I don't know what is printing out there. All right. Anyways, yes, their linebackers are where you want to attack them, especially if you can get them in coverage matchups.
Yeah, I like the let Mary cook portion of linebackers into the secondary. Here's the other thing about it. Ah, you're good. Yeah, here's the other thing into that. As you talk about that man, maybe a game here because I talked about Ferguson a little bit earlier as well too. I'm right there with you. Oh, Pollard only got one ball thrown to him last week. Maybe here's an opportunity here where we can get Pollard on their linebackers perhaps and get after it and attack them in the pass game. Maybe use the extension of the short passing game if you're able to get them matched up in space and let them kind of do some things. So it'll be intriguing when it comes to that. Maybe we see a little bit more from Pollard in the pass game and maybe even a Rico Dowdle, if you will, against their linebackers and what they do in man coverage.
So Robert kind of teed this one up perfectly for us. So Deuce Vaughn's been inactive recently. I haven't heard anything to say that he won't be inactive again this week, but he makes a ton of sense to make him active, knowing that their linebackers are one of the weaknesses and knowing how small he is and shifty. He might be a guy that you want to have active this week. Again, I have no idea or foresight that that's going to happen, but it's an interesting comment, Robert. I don't know how often we'll get Turpin in the game. We kind of situationally use him and see him more Tolbert last week. I think we're going to go with the top 4. But it would be interesting to see him match up this week. But Deuce kind of piqued my interest there because he would make sense to activate this game for this matchup, knowing their linebackers are going to struggle in coverage against him and knowing that teams typically don't have a lot of success in the running game. So if he can give you something in the receiving game, maybe it makes sense. I don't know. But what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, here's the thing with Turpin, right? We have seen him line up in the backfield before. So if you want to kind of create a mismatch, right? Maybe you line Turpin up at the running back position and get him on the linebackers by your formation in there. So there could be something to that. I don't look. I'd be shocked if Deuce is up this week, and maybe this is something they've been sitting on and waiting for. I'd be surprised. I won't say shocked. I would be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be surprised, right, if Deuce was up. But I think there's something you can finagle in there with Turpin because again, we've seen him in the backfield. We've seen him get some carries, right? And maybe this is a wrinkle of trying to attack their tight ends, to attack their linebackers of, okay, yeah, we're going to be in a bunch formation, maybe some 11 personnel, but Turpin's going to be the running back and get him into the passing game and trying to match him up and get him on a Zach Cunningham per se or a Nakobe Dean. I could see the Turpin thing maybe more than the Deuce thing. It's probably where I would land.
And the only thing I could say that may help Deuce this week is last week we went with 4 tight ends. We activated the guy off the practice squad as well. He got poached, so he's not here anymore.
Yeah, he's
so maybe that opens up an opportunity for him to be active. Probably not, because I feel like they're kind of trending away from him and letting him get some time to get his feet under him as a rookie. But it would be an interesting matchup if they did that. And if he is active, that's probably, as Nick says, I won't say a major key alert there, but maybe a minor key alert. Like they probably have something in mind if he's active.
Big facts. So what do you?
The tight end, Sobert, I think is his name. That's who got it.
Yeah, Eric Sobert.
Right. Sobert, yeah. Had him for 1 week. He was up, and then peace. See you later. Down to Houston. So what do you look at this defense, right? And as I'll put the graphic up here, the run game and what's going on there and how they're able to attack that. Obviously, those guys, the defensive line, guys in the middle, but the defensive line across the way. Yeah, there it is. That's 70 versus 20, or 71 versus 28, I should say. And then the secondary having their issues. So you kind of look at this Eagles defense, Spoonie. What are you seeing? What do you want to kind of see the Cowboys attack, and how you want to see them get after it?
Listen, they probably have the best interior in the whole NFL. Let's be honest. It's hard to run against them. But what I would do is try to tire those the guys like Davis and Carter, big boys. Tire them out. How you tire them out? Throw some screens. Getting Pollard in the passing game with them screen plays could definitely open some things up and make the defense tired. You want those big boys up front, to I'm tired, call me a sub. You understand? So that's one way of attacking them. And of course, the secondary is weak. Again, you have two corners. They're solid, but they have not been playing well. They're getting older, and I think guys like CeeDee Lamb has done well in the past, where he scored on Bradbury, but he was in the Giants with the Eagles. The same thing with Darius Slay. I see mismatch with Brandon Cooks for the way he plays, the way they could do things with him, with his speed and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys have an advantage in the passing game against this defense, but it all starts off with the protection. If you're able to buy some time for Dak to take some shots down the field, I think you can win in that way. At the same time, if you give him some time to do some screens and tire up the interior, it can open up some things up, because once the guys get tired, maybe that could start up where you can start running the ball a bit much better between Dowdle, Pollard, maybe even Hunter Lipke. We haven't seen him run the ball at all this season. He could be this could be a game where they got some big boys up front. You use our fullback to get some gain, some yardage. So again, you're gonna have to work it, but I think we can accomplish it.
Which, kind of goes back to, running between the tackles here, right? You don't want to completely abandon that, right? Obviously we saw our run game coordinator come back last week. The Cowboys, Pollard averages 4.4 yards per carry, primarily to the outside. So, I mean, obviously we're kind of okay with getting to the outside, but you want to kind of do some things. Maybe we see a little bit more Rico try to run it in there, Dom. I mean, from the run game aspect, right? You can't just completely abandon and not trying to run it up the middle, right?
Right. But
or between the tackles. Let me say between the tackles. I want to say directly just hit it and go. Between the tackles, I should say.
Right. Yeah, you got to run it, but run it with some consistency, but also run it with creativity. So this is a team where you don't want to really do much of base type running, but unfortunately, that's the kind of blocking scheme that we're starting to see more and more. And what I'm starting to see out of our offensive line is just a lack of overall being able to control the combo blocks before one of the offensive linemen goes to the next level. And so if you were to watch the tape, for example, when you see like last year, Zach Martin and before Terrence Steele got hurt, man, Terrence Steele is just crashing the line all the way down, getting to the second level, blowing up linebackers. You're not getting that out of either guy this year with any kind of consistency. And then when we talk about the creativity with the run game, it seems as if, hey, what about some of the zone blocking? We've completely abandoned that. What about trying to get to the tackle and then allowing your running backs to be able to pick their run lane? And so you want to see more vision out of Tony Pollard. It's getting a little bit better, but it seems that Rico just kind of has the juice, and he's been able to get a good 3 to 4 yards turning it out in the middle. So, yeah, you definitely want to see them be able to run the ball effectively inside of the tackles.
Yeah. Oh, what are we looking at here? We looking at this offense and the running the ball coming up here.
I mean, my big concern, first off, is Tyron Smith going to play? Who knows? We'll see. My biggest concern, though, is we won't know, because right now, until further notice, Tyron Smith at practice, this is what we're hearing. Every time. Every time there's any injury, that's what I'm just kind of expecting out of it. Although Coach Jerry Jones, Dr. Jerry Jones said he feels good that he's going to play. So we'll see. Tomorrow will be a big day to see if he's, able to do anything at practice. So we'll find out there. But my biggest concern is Tyler Biadasz versus Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, and Jalen Carter. Really, any of the three. I don't really like any of the three matchups for him this year, which is kind of a shame because Tyler Biadasz had a good season last year, and this is a contract year for him, and he was working with Duke Manyweather. So I thought this was going to be a huge breakout year for him. And then in training camp, he was the chirpy guy. He was the guy that was, kind of pushing and shoving and being like our tough enforcer. So I was fully coming into the season thinking Tyler B is going to have a big year. It just hasn't been there yet. He's losing at the line of scrimmage. He's getting knocked back sometimes. Last week was a good example of that happening. So I have some concerns there, especially in the interior of our offensive line holding up against the interior of their defensive line. I do think you can attack them on the edges. That's one thing that's kind of a tried and true method in the NFL is those top end pass rushers wear down if you run at them. So you definitely want to try to target that if you can. But the interior of our offensive line, I love Tyler Smith versus their defensive line. Zach Martin is still Zach Martin, but not quite what we've seen in the past. He looks like he's kind of fighting through some things too, and we know he is. He's left the field with injury. So I don't know. I don't really love our run game. I would love to say, I think we're going to surprise everybody and just gash them, but realistically, I don't think we're going to do that. So I think this is a game where Dak using a little bit more of that mobility that we've seen the last 2 games comes in handy. Get those short and manageable down to distance situations where you can pick up a 3rd and 1 in this defense. You can pick up a 3rd and 2 in this defense. You're not going to run on a 3rd and 5 on this defense. You're going into pass mode, and they know that. So if Dak's able to, leave the pocket or step up in the pocket and gash him a few times, that opens up things for the team. But overall, I don't expect this to be a game that we run super successfully in it. I would love for them to surprise us and this be like a big Tony Pollard breakout game, but nothing with what's working for us and hasn't worked for us versus this run defense signals that that's probably a likely scenario. Like, it's probably going to be an ugly, you want to continue to run, try to run, pick up what you can. You don't want to abandon the run completely, but you probably need your passing game to open things up so you can run later in the game.
Right.
Yeah. That's how I'll be honest thing, man. After having such a good year last year and just, I want to say regression, just not quite there yet, is been a little frustrating. A lot of games to be played, right? Still 10 games ahead of you starting this week. We'll see where it is. And then, of course, the fashionably late. Already, she told y'all on Twitter, she's already on vacation mode. Okay. Miss Mary Ella's in the building, Mary. How are we doing this Friday?
I'm good. I was at the nail shop real late, and then I had to run to the store. It's just been a very long day, but I'm here. I'm ready. I mean,
you gotta dot the I's and cross the T's before you go on vacation.
Exactly. I gotta be prepared.
The nails are done. You gotta make sure you got everything for the trip. I mean, It is what it is.
Of course.
With that being said, it is still, hey, we got these pesky Pigeons / Eagles on deck.
I'm actually going to Mexico with an Eagles fan. Like, he's the only one in the group. And he's also the youngest one in the group. So, and he has an Android, which we all have iPhones. So we just bully him about everything.
Poverty. All this poverty.
He messes up the group chat with his Android.
How did he make the cut? I don't know.
One of my best friends, she's a diehard, born and raised Dallas girl, Cowboys fan, Dallas everything. And somehow she meets this Eagles fan at midget wrestling in Mexico, and they've been together ever since. Yeah.
Wait. Pause. Hold on.
I didn't hear.
Hold on. Did I hear met at midget wrestling in Mexico and been together ever since? I'm calling the police. I don't like it.
I mean, now you can see why she's my friend, because we get in situations like that.
See, that's a wedding story right there, though. That's How I Met Your Mother. We were sitting across from each other at midget wrestling.
Yeah.
I happened to look up. She caught my eye.
Yeah.
I knew it was love at first sight.
Mary, they're asking to see the nails. Are you willing to show the nails?
They look.
We'll lay out. Y'all can see
They're
the nails.
They're goldish, but they look green on here. But they're not green.
She loves gold.
They're
gold. I can see the gold. Yeah, I can see the gold.
They're like gold, like chromish, and you can't really tell, but they're like 3D on the tips. So yeah.
Hey yo, DC
nice.
The Truth said Android greater than the Eagles. All right. All right. With that being said, we're kind of putting the topper there on the Eagles defense. Let's flip the script over here to the offense, right? And one of the things I believe to be an advantage here for the Cowboys simply is you have a rookie offensive coordinator versus Dan Quinn, and something that we can kind of relate to in Cowboys land is as Kellen Moore was on the job going up against, more veteran defensive coordinators, right? You would run into trouble. Now we understand what the Eagles bring to the table, right? Historic pace. We've never seen this before, right? Is 6 games, 125 yards receiving or more for A.J. Brown. I don't care who your all-time favorite wide receiver is. I can talk about Randy Moss. I can talk about Michael Irvin. I can talk about Jerry Rice. We talk about Megatron and what he brought to the table, and Calvin Johnson. None of these guys has done and been on the pace that he's on right now. But with that being said, maybe the run game is not as good as it once was. And again, rookie offensive coordinator here against Dan Quinn. I feel like that's an advantage for the Cowboys, even though what they bring to the table. What are you seeing, when you're looking at this Eagles offense and what they're doing, say, from last year to this year?
Yeah, so in my opinion, from watching film on the Eagles offense, I feel like they're less creative offensively this year with their new offensive coordinator than they were last year. And that's kind of an interesting storyline. It was originally talked about when they made the hire of Brian Johnson. That's Dak's former coach from Mississippi
Right.
State days. They have a connection. They know each other. But I don't feel like their offense is quite as complicated and intricate as it was last year. They're not running a ton of pre-snap motion. They do some pre-snap shifts and some pre-snap motions, but nothing really that exotic. You'll see a lot of tight splits, which is pretty similar to what we saw from the Rams. So we've actually gotten a chance to match up against teams like that recently. They still are consistent with their run game, but they're not popping as many explosive runs as they did last year, which is different, which is kind of interesting. I think last year, something like 14% of their run plays were 10-plus yard gains, which are called an explosive run, and it's down in half this year. It's about 7%. So they're still getting some of those. DeAndre Swift's kind of had a weird journey this year where some games he looks amazing, looks like an all-pro running back, and then some games they just really aren't getting the ground game going the way that you expect them to based on what they did last year. They still have the tush-push, brotherly shove, whatever you want to call it, which has been pretty successful for them. So if you get them in those short yardage situations, they'll do that. But going back to the passing game, you'll see a lot of A.J. Brown on one side, Devontae Smith on the other side. And again, on the other side is typically tight twins where they stack them so that the receivers are getting free releases. Jalen Hurts is having a weird season too. I don't want to pull. I guess I'm already kind of doing the Mary, so I may as well just keep cooking. But
Just keep cooking. Go ahead and cook.
Jalen Hurts is having a really weird year where he's a right-handed quarterback. Typically, right-handed quarterbacks prefer to throw to the right side. It's an easier throw for them. He's not having a good season passing on the right side of the field in any of the down and distance or any of the distances. So 0 to 9 yards or 0 to 10 yards, I should say, 11 to 19, and then 20 plus. He's better on the left side in all three of those categories than the right side. So it's kind of something to keep an eye on. A.J. Brown is having an absolutely phenomenal season. Devontae Smith's kind of had a up and down season. He had a good week last week. Dallas Goedert started the season slow, and he's kind of working back into the offense, but they're not taking as many shots with him. What I'm seeing on film are quick outs, screens, curls, like not really attacking the seams like you saw last year. You will see some deep overs, and that's something that, the Cowboys linebacker and core and safeties have not necessarily had the greatest season in covering deep overs, but those are harder to cover anyways, especially when you're in man coverage, which we do the third most of the NFL. So, yeah, their offense, in a nutshell, if I just summarize everything I just said, is they're not as creative as they were last year. They still can attack you. They still score a ton of points. They're scoring on 48.8% of their drives, which is the most in the NFL. Cowboys are third in the NFL at 45.6. So just throwing it out there because it feels like if you read the comments on Twitter, it's our defense and our special teams scoring all of our points. Actually, our offense is still scoring too.
Right. Big facts. I wonder how much is that attributed to here, Spoonie, because the knee situation with Jalen Hurts, and he hurt it and he re-aggravated it. Obviously this week at one of the press conferences with the media, the last question they asked about it, he just kind of looked at him, set the microphone down, moved on. The word is, knee bruise, right? A bone bruise in the knee, I should say. So while still able to get out and run, but not the same way, right? Not as physical, not getting down. So there is something to be had there. You can't go to sleep on it, but something to be had there. And then, of course, right, but Cam Jurgens is going to be out this game as well. So they have a little bit of hole there, if you will, when it comes to the offensive line. Now, A.J. Brown, phenomenal. But, I think one of the things here, and somebody help me if I'm wrong, through they're 7-1, like 3 or 4 of the games, right? He's went up against rookie cornerbacks, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So not to disparage anything from that, but he won't get that luxury here. So as O kind of broke it down, was talking about where the run game is not as creative. Do you think it's just because of the new coordinator, what he's learning on the job, or do you think it's something to do with Jalen Hurts and maybe the knee situation?
I think it's both. I think it's both. If I believe it was the Jet game, you can watch that game where No, matter of fact, the Soda game when he had the RPO. Normally Jalen Hurts would just keep on going. He just stopped and just went down once Jordan Hicks went to just go tackle him, and it was like, this is when the commentator was talking about, is Jalen Hurts okay? And ever since that game, going into the press conference where he was asked about it, and he walked away. In this game, you have to test it out. You have to test him. You have to make him feel very uncomfortable in that pocket. You want to see if he's going to run. That's the only way we're going to know for sure. And once we know for sure what he can do, which is one of the biggest things of him being an MVP candidate last season, now we have something. Now we can take everything away. And, at the end of the day, when he's play at his worst, when he's pressured. When you don't pressure him, he can pick you up apart. You have to pressure him. You have to make him feel comfortable. You're going to have to make that offensive coordinator do something different where it can make him comfortable. And I believe we have the pieces to do that. With the number one defense in the league with the most pressures, get at it. I feel comfortable our corner playing, hey, what corner tandem shut down, what's his name, Nakwa and Cooper, the Rams tandem wide receiver. We did a great job against that tandem. Mm-hmm. So I feel good about doing it with this tandem right here. We got Jay Lou at the slot. You're gonna have Bland the outside corner. You're gonna have Gilmore. I feel comfortable going man on man if we choose to do that and test Jalen Hurts out.
So Dom, let me ask you this. We kind of talked about this on the space, kind of circle back here a little bit. With where Hurts is right now, how the running game is going, a lot of questions from Cowboys Nation has been, is it time to use Bell? Is it time to use Donovan Wilson as a spy? Do you think the Cowboys either come out immediately and spy Jalen Hurts?
No. So what you will want to do is start out by just seeing how your front four can operate, because we know that that's what was the ingredient for the Jets to be able to win that game, was being able to get some pressure and maintain and keep their containment with that front four. So they did yeoman's work there. So for Dallas, I wouldn't start out with spying Hurts. You're going to need that extra guy, like, in pass coverage or doing other things, picking up running backs out of the backfield. So initially, I wouldn't do it. But then the next thing that I've noticed whenever I watch the film against the Commanders is anytime Jalen Hurts is back there where you got 3 receivers on the left, 2 on the right, so just completely open. He's in shotgun. It's an empty set, whatever terminology you're used to hearing. It's most often it's going to be a screen. And they utilize that on third downs where they're knowing that, man, I think teams are going to blitz. And over, they tend to hurt teams. And they do a great job of getting Jordan Mailata out into the fold, being able to, it's almost like a pull in a sense, where he's an athletic guy, big guy. He's able to get down there and block downfield. Their receivers do a tremendous job of blocking. So that's something Dallas is going to have to watch out for. Also, with our front four, they're going to have to maintain their integrity whenever it's time for those plays to happen. The other key that I've seen watching the Eagles this year, which is a little bit different, is maybe because he's banged up, I don't know, but really their RPO action is really just play action, because he's truly not trying to tuck that thing and run whenever, even when he has the opportunity to do it. So what you often see is it looks like the RPO action. He doesn't hand it off. And instead, you got A.J. Brown hitting him with a slant. So that's something to really key on if you're the Cowboys. And then the other big thing for them is, even though he's hurt, he's still able to get out, keep plays going. He's best whenever plays break down and he gets out of structure of plays, because he's still looking downfield. He's able to be mobile enough to be able to add a few more seconds to be able to help his receivers get open. So it's going to be a tall task for Dallas, but the front four for us is going to be the key in winning this game.
10-4. Mary, let's just get to the brass tacks. I got vacation Mary here. Let's get to the brass tacks, Mary. Look, this offense and rookie coordinator, okay, missing offensive lineman, historic run for A.J. Brown, Dan Quinn against him, all that. We've seen DeMarcus Ware have a signature game in Philly. We've seen a Roy Williams even have a signature game in Philly, picking up Donovan McNabb, housing it. And let's just put all the analytics aside for a second, Mary. Can we? Don't we just see the signature game here from Mr. Micah Parsons?
Oh yeah, I saw someone mention that on Twitter the other day that this is a good game for Micah Parsons to just go off. And obviously, he's an amazing player. And that was you? Oh, okay. Obviously, he's an amazing player. He is the leader of our defense, and he makes a huge difference on the field. But yeah, one of those games to just, they've been talking so much about, trying to find ways to discredit who he is. And for them to go to Philly and he just punched them in the face would be just that much sweeter in a win. So yeah, I definitely agree. Him having a signature win. And I also saw earlier this week when they were asking, did y'all practice, defending against the tush push, and how they said no. Like we just plan on stopping them and keeping them out of 4th and 1 situations. Like that's just what we need to do. And I love that because, if we're in their face all day and they just keep getting these 3rd and longs and they aren't completing them and they're getting frustrated, that's where we need them to be. And, Dan Quinn is good at that. Like you said, a rookie offensive coordinator. They've been struggling and he's good at finding those weaknesses. And I think that's what they'll do.
And as 2 Minute Warning says, I have a sack against the Eagles in 3 career games for Parsons. Yeah, Parsons knows that too.
Yeah.
Right? Parsons hears about, Lane Johnson, whatever's going on, so on and so forth. Right? The Parsons definitely knows too. I just feel like this is the opportunity here. And some of the good to great Cowboy defenders of all time have had, and by proxy, because you play these teams 2 times a year, we've seen them have those kind of games in Philly. And I think it's just one of those things where Micah Parsons just do. He hasn't had one of those kind of games in Philly yet. And I think he understands that. We understand the temperament that he has. And I think this is a game for him to go out there and absolutely get that done. So obviously we'll tune in. We'll see what happens. Go from there. Let's spin the block here and say, okay, what's your keys? Give me a key. Give me a major key. Give me a key offense and defense. Or I'll tell you what, let's do offense first. Give me the key. Give me the key, for this Cowboys team to get the dub. What's the key for them offensively?
Yeah, so I think you have to attack their secondary. I mean, that's what we kind of talked about earlier. And just to kind of throw out numbers so people can understand how their cornerbacks have played in coverage this year. If you look at big play slate, right? That's the big name. That's the guy that has kind of been a vaunted all-pro caliber player. 72% completion percentage this year. 393 yards in coverage allowed. Then you have, and that's with 50 targets, so he's being targeted a lot. Then you have James Bradbury, 43 targets. He's only allowing 55.8%, so not quite as much. 299 yards allowed, but 5 touchdowns this year. So neither of them has been very good in coverage. Then you look at their linebackers. Zach Cunningham, we talked about the linebackers in coverage. 75% completion when targeted. 254 yards passing on him. You look at their safety, Reed Blankenship, 67% completion percentage, 210 yards when passing on him. So their secondary and linebackers both can be attacked. And I don't want to see the Cowboys go into this conservative slant flat concepts over and over and over again. Like, I want us to be aggressive like we've seen from Dak the last 2 weeks. He's holding the ball longer, so his TTT, time to throw, has been longer. But that allows you to attack vertically. It allows you to take deeper shots, take some of those deep crossers, take some of those deep outs, post routes, things like that. Like, that's what we need to do this week against the Eagles. And I know that's a tough ask because we talked about what their front 7 can do to your offensive line. But maybe you do some more max protects, maybe do some chips with Ferguson before he releases, whatever it takes to allow Dak to cook on the Eagles. He's 8-3 against them for a reason. He's historically done really well against this Eagles defense. Obviously, it's a year-to-year league. We haven't played them yet, so it's a new matchup. But in my opinion, I think you attack their secondary.
Spoony, give me the offensive key for you to go out here and win this game. Oh, no, that's good.
You're on mute.
Oh, that's good, Spoon. I like that.
Offensive key for me is, I'm sorry, it's been a minute. Offensive key is I'm gonna do his move right here. Who's this?
Oh.
Bam! Brandon Cook. Brandon Cooks is the key.
I like
Work
that.
underneath, his speed. The archer will strike. The archer will strike. Utilize the archer. It's going to open up everything up for CD Lamb and possibly the running game and some Kavontae Turpin, in my opinion. Defensively, it's going to be the secondary. This is Bland's big game. This is Bland against AJ Brown.
Hold on, we're not doing defense yet. We're not doing defense
Hold on,
yet.
Spoon. We're just doing offense. Spoon said, hold on. Oh, got the cook.
Sorry.
I'm ready to cook. I got you. We're going to spin the block. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I have dropped the link to join the show. Cell phone, tablet, whatever you got. It's in there now. You can join the show. As always, we do that on Fridays. Camera on, camera off. That's up to you. But the link is into the YouTube. I did put it on the other chats, but I dropped it again here on YouTube. Hit the link. You're more than welcome to come up here and chat it up with us. Dom, give me the one key for you for this Cowboys offense against the Eagles.
Yeah, it's the passes, intermediate to deep. And it's all going to be in Dak's hands, whether it's receiving the plays that are coming in or whatever he's seeing, how he's feeling the game. So it's really all about Dak's vision. Where are his eyes? Is he actually, locked in this game? Because like you said, he's 8-3 for a reason, Professor O. And in the last 3 games, he's been cooking against the Eagles defense. So he's 3-0 in the last 3 games. Extremely efficient, getting big plays, averaging 3.5 touchdowns a game in the last stretch. So I really want to put it on Dak's shoulders again and really let him take over this offense, because their defensive backs just don't look that good, like we've mentioned. Now, do anybody know who Darrelle Revis retired with? Who was the last team he played for?
Patriots, right?
No.
Was it the Bucks?
Nope.
I feel like it was
It wasn't the Jets.
So he started out with the Jets.
Yeah.
Then he went to Tampa Bay as a 28-year-old.
Right.
Then New England as a 29-year-old.
Yeah,
He went back to the Jets as a 31-year-old. Then he ended up with Kansas City. I bet you don't even remember that.
I deleted that from my brain.
Wow.
You don't even remember that.
Yeah, that's a
Then Richard Sherman. Remember Richard Sherman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did he start his career out with?
Seattle.
Then he went to
San Francisco.
San Fran. And who did he finish his career with?
It wasn't Carolina, was it?
I have no idea.
Tampa.
Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
I knew he went. I knew he went somewhere in the South. I couldn't remember. I know it was somewhere in the NFC South.
Right. Why do I bring up 2 former greats and where they were in their stops? When you start to hit that 31, 32, multiple teams, things just start to fall off. And this year, Darius Slay and James Bradbury, they've fallen off. And I'm watching their fans and trusted, respected content creators bringing up Darrelle. No, not with these two. They're bringing up Darrelle Revis Kansas City jerseys and Tampa Bay Richard Sherman jerseys to show how poor those two have played in certain spots this year. So if their fan base, who sees every single play of the season, is starting to, put some things out there, and you can't always trust everything that people say, because you have some fans who are, optimistic and some pessimistic, but some try to be as balanced as possible. So I'm looking at the more balanced ones. They're starting to see some of the cracks in that armor that was a great defense, a historic defense out of the Eagles last year. Many sacks as they did last year. They don't have the turnovers that they're not generating like last year, except Hurts is throwing them and he's fumbling. He's got the second most turnovers of any quarterback in the league. I know I've stretched my answer out, but my point is, Dak Prescott, this is your time to continue to cook against the Eagles defense, which you've generally done well against your entire career.
Yeah, Dom, I think you had a nice little tweet about the last 3 games
Oh yeah,
against Philly.
78%
Yeah, I
completion
saw that.
rate,
Yeah.
11 touchdowns, only 1 interception. I know probably people thought I'd left that off on purpose, but it's like, no, I wanted somebody to mention that so I could be like, ha, just one. So no, he been cooking. Almost a perfect passer rating. Dak is doing his thing against this Eagles defense, and don't tell me about Hurts wasn't playing. Well, he ain't playing. Really, quarterback
Defense.
don't play against quarterback. You playing
Yeah.
against the defense, and so their defense has had their guys ready to go, and Dak has done a good job against them. So you need that to continue this week for Dallas.
Well, and au contraire, because me, Mary, and Spoonie was in the building, we witnessed Dak
Yes.
play against Hurts and put a 40 burger on him, and Mary ended up on a table at Texas Live along
Oh,
with
yeah.
our guy Jay Tuck. So
Yeah.
we've seen that. We have seen that.
Yeah. Exactly. There's evidence.
There's video evidence out there somewhere in the ethos for sure. Not sure where, or you might. Or there's also another video of me, Spoonie, and Mary, maybe inebriated, maybe, and we said, do we? I think we all at the same time was like 40 points or nah.
Yeah.
That was really, really drug out to after that game. No ifs or buts about it.
And DJ, may I show since we're talking about, may I show the audience something from that game? I mean, the Cowboys-Eagles were flowing that game. It was, flowing. Let's show something.
Oh boy, I don't.
Hold on one second.
Oh boy. Well, how long is it going to take? Can I get Mary's answer first, or not?
That is not Miss Mary. May I?
Full disclosure, consent.
It's not crazy. Not the crazy ones.
No, we don't do. Well, pause. We're not out here getting extracurricular.
We're not that crazy.
We're turned up a little bit, but we're not out here going streaking or nothing.
At least not on camera.
Yeah. We keep that tough.
Hold on.
We might not tuck it a little. Hey, there's certain things we have on. Oh yeah, that's at the game. Yeah, we was in that thing.
Of course.
Yeah, listen, I won't put the Texas Live stuff. That's in the archives, put away.
Oh no, go ahead, bring it out now. No, it's
I gotta find it. That's in the deep archive.
That's awesome.
Tape.
Oh, wait, my turn, right? My turn.
All right, yeah, Mary, offensively. Okay, offensively key. The offensive key of beating these Eagles Sunday afternoon.
So I agree with all y'all. It's definitely attacking the secondary. To Dom's point, I wanted to say I haven't seen any Eagles content creators putting up those jerseys for those guys. I've seen them undervaluing or underestimating how bad they've actually been. And they'll be fine, and blah, blah, blah. I also saw on PFF, they were like the best CB duo, and it was like them listed against like the Jets and like 2 other teams in Miami, and then like 1 other team, not including the Cowboys at all. And I'm like, why would they even be on this list? Like, that's just trolling. But anyways, also I want to add, I think it's the O-line, man. For all of that to happen, for Dak to cook and to get his ball to the wide receivers and attack that secondary, we need our O-line to hold up. I know we were all panicking the first few plays of the game against the Rams where he just kept getting hit. We thought it was going to be a long day. But they cleaned it up and it was great afterwards. And, then we have Asim Richards coming in at the end of the game. And so we really want to see, we've got guys on the injury report. Like you said, Tyler's been struggling. Terrence Still's been struggling. We a clean as possible game for the O-line, and that's going to be what gets the offense going.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I thought my point was going to make it all the way through clean, but me and Mary are twins, and we're going to do some daggum karate in the garage because Dak's not going to be able to get vertical if that pass rush gets home. And that's why it's to hold up, because I think if they're able to pin back the pass rush of Philly, I think Dak actually is going to go out here and cook. we've just seen it throughout this season so far and how Philly's kind of produced on their secondary and what's been going on. So I think simply put, you had to be able to block it up. If you're not able to block it up, yeah, it becomes a long day. Right, it can definitely become a long day. But if the Cowboys are able to keep it clean, right, if they're able to keep it clean, for Dak and
I said
allow them to
Tyron.
go vertical, yeah, and allow them to get vertical, then I think the Cowboys absolutely have opportunity here to make some headway offensively. All right, let's flip the old coin, shall we?
Oh,
Now
to
we go
clarify,
to
to
the
clarify, I said Tyler as in the center Tyler, and then I mentioned
center.
still
Center?
the center Tyler Biotish.
Be honest.
As
Okay, okay.
far
Yeah,
as
I need you to walk through the door.
yeah, yeah. I was talking about the center Tyler Biotish, and then I mentioned still, and then I mentioned the injuries on the left side. That's what I was talking about. To
Boom.
be clear.
All right. Now that that's all clear, we'll flip the coin over here to go to defense. All right. Let me go reverse order this time. I'll go reverse order this time. Let me, Mary. Now you're back up again. You're back up again, Mary.
Wow.
All right. Defensive. What's the defensive key here? What's the defensive key for the Cowboys?
Yeah. This is, I feel like low hanging fruit, but it's getting the hurts. Just like we did last week when we sometimes even when we weren't getting the sack, like that pressure made Matt Stafford nervous. That's how Bland got that interception for the pick six. And, they don't want to talk about it or they want to excuse him, but those turnovers are happening to him this year. And so take advantage of that. Don't be the team that doesn't get any candy. The game just ended. So let's get it.
Dom, defensive key for the Cowboys.
Jalen Hurts was an MVP candidate last year, finished number 2. Just saw on my phone that he's now pegged to be the favorite to be the MVP this year. I don't know how, because that guy has regressed. So the key is for Dallas is to get at least 2 turnovers, be opportunistic, because whenever looking to the interior of our defense, as far as them trying to hit us in the middle, that's where a lot of his picks are coming, whether it's a tip ball, him fumbling, or just not seeing defenders and throwing the ball right into double coverage and getting it picked off. I think you start to continue to water that seed that's already been planted by these teams before you and being able to get him to make mistakes. And so we know that he's a quick processor. We know he's a great quarterback in his own right, but we haven't seen him do things with consistency from one year to the next. And so he's a little bit on the struggle bus. He's hurting a little bit. I don't really think that's going to hamper him too much in this game. But as Mariella talks about the defensive front really being able to get that pressure, now I need my guys on the back end to be able to be ready to get the ball, because it's turning into a Favre type thing where he's going to throw a couple of balls that are just, it's right there. It's right there for the taking. So opportunistic defense, step up.
All right, Spoonie. Now defense, go right ahead.
The secondary, especially Deron Bland. You want to make AJ Brown have a bad game. You want to get in his head. You really, when the game against Minnesota, when he was having a hard time, you saw him go to the sideline. It was him and Hurst basically were talking it out. Again, is that a normal thing when you're playing sports? Yes. But can it turn into a negative thing? Of course, because you're not having a good game. And this is where Deron Bland steps in. Deron Bland is having an all-pro year so far. And this will definitely put a stamp on it if he's holding down one of the best wide receivers in these last 8 games in A.J. Brown. And I think he'll do a good job. You want to frustrate A.J. Brown. You want to make Jalen Hurts look elsewhere. And as Dom and Miss Mary was talking about, again, he's not playing well when he's throwing that passes towards the middle, or Professor O, you said towards the left, the right side, which he's a righty, right? So at the end of the day, you want to make him just not. You want to if you disrupt AJ Brown, you're going to disrupt Jalen Hurts to look elsewhere, and probably elsewhere where he doesn't want to go, elsewhere where he's able to make mistakes, in my opinion.
All right. Oh, what's your key?
Yeah, my key is Oso Digizua.
Ooh,
Their left
love
guard and right guard, both Landon Dickerson and Sua Opeta, who's playing for Cam Jurgens, who they just activated his window. He's not playing this week,
Yeah, he
but
hurt.
that's a big loss for them. So if you look at what they did last week just against the Washington Commanders, those two, their left guard and right guard, combined for 11 pressures. That's a lot.
That's
Oso
a lot.
Digizua is having a huge year. The best way to get in a quarterback's head is to rattle them by getting pressure up the middle. That's true with Jalen Hurts. It's true with Pat Mahomes. It's true with Tom Brady. It's true with any quarterback in the NFL. Nobody wants to have pressure right in their face as soon as the ball snapped. So if you are able to take advantage of offensive guards on both sides of the ball, or both sides of the center, I should say, that aren't having incredible years, you can get to the quarterback. You can force that internal time clock to get messed up, to throw passes quicker than he would have, or tuck and try to escape the pocket. And then that's where DeMarcus Lawrence, Sam Williams, Mike Parsons, and those guys are allowed to feast. So to me, Oso Digizua has to have a big game. He's had a really good year so far. We talked about Micah having a statement game. If you want to become one of the upper echelon defensive tackles, here's your moment. This is your shot right here against a good team. The Eagles are 7-1 for a reason. They're a good football team.
Right.
You want to put your name out there in front of everybody, here's your shot. So for me, Oso Digizua is the key matchup that we need to take advantage of.
Yeah, I think for me, it's simply put. I mean, the Cowboys are going to win, right? The first team to go back-to-back years with 30-plus turnovers and lead the league since the 70 Steelers. And for better or worse, where they're at offensively right now with Philly is they're turning the ball over. Their quarterback is turning the ball over. Apply the pressure and make sure those things, you take advantage of those things. If you're able to do that, I think that's just a huge key for them. I mean, sure, we can get to the brass tacks. Oh, stop this, stop that. But again, they're turning the ball over. That's what our calling card is on defense. Let's make sure we get that candy. I know Halloween's already passed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But there's a little, look, everybody's got a little leftover candy after Halloween. Let's just reach over there and take some of that from them. That's all I'm saying. And I think that's a really big for the Cowboys here. Again, as they've turned the ball, whether it's fumbles or, interceptions, look, it's not per se right on Jalen Hurts, but he's turned the ball over more now this season than he did all of last year. Where that scheme, injury, something missing on the offensive line, whatever it is, that has been a little bit of an issue for them. Make sure you can capitalize on that in this game on the road in Philly. And with that being said, our first guest tonight, Miss Jessica Haggerty's in the building. Miss Haggerty, how are we doing?
Hi, everybody. I am hyped. I'm so ready for our Cowboys to shut those she-goes down. It's time to get them some humble pie. It's time for them to cave their chest in. It's time for them to play smash mouth football. No mercy. Attack, attack, attack. Dak do his thing. They don't need to hold him down. Let Dak be what Dak is doing at the time that he's doing it. This is what they need to allow him to continue to do. Because as long as Dak can be him and do his thing, we win. Big time. And I hope and pray that him and CeeDee Lamb and all the other guys had their togetherness. They need to also mix turpentine up in it on the mix and let him do his thing, because he did open up and he got in that end zone, even though they called it back with that unnecessarily flag. But y'all know how they do, our boys. Every time they cooking, they get mad, they hate, and they go to throwing the flag. I want it to be a good, clean game. I'm looking for defense to go out there and eat and tear up Jalen Hurts, Tank, Micah, Big Hank Tank, Gallimore, my Sam Williams, all our big boys out there at the same time. Let them go do their thing. Let Bland get some picks in. I'm looking for him to get some picks. I'm looking for him and Gallimore to get that ball and do their thing as well. I'm looking for everybody to do their part. It's going to take everybody on the team to do their job and do it successfully without any flaws or mess-up. You got to be on point every time. When Dak tell you whatever play Dak tell on offense, the person he's throwing the ball to, that's who needs to be on that route, and they need to focus and look and watch and keep their eyes on him. That's what I'm
go ahead and
looking
cook.
for.
I mean, just go ahead and cook then, Jessica. I mean, by all means, go right ahead and cook it up.
She's not wrong. She is not wrong.
Mary, I'm serious. Like, Boss them had some Eagle fans over there on their show. Y'all, them jokers was showing out. Man, if I could go through that phone, I was gonna tell them a piece of my mind. Y'all think that y'all finna really run over our team like that? They was really talking mucho noise. They was talking big yin yang to the yang. I said, okay, keep on talking. Dak, y'all team daddy. Dak and the Cowboys, your team daddy. In the whole NFC East. So don't play. They want to brag about when they beat Cooper Rush. Like I tell them, that loss was on Cooper Rush quarterback record. Dak record is still 8-2. He ain't 8-3 because Dak was down. He was not on the field. So don't keep putting that on him. I want y'all to please stop saying Dak is 8-3 against them. He is not. He is 8-2 and soon to be 9-2. And we are going to get that win. I believe in my Cowboys. I know they ain't going to be playing, shucking and jiving. I know they going to go out there and do what they got to do. Because they know every game count from here on. They got to be on point. They got to handle business. And I know they will. Because I believe in them. Because they want that ring. They hungry. They want that ring.
Hungry.
Mm.
I mean, it is Turkey Day season. You got to be hungry during Turkey Day season.
Hey.
You gotta be. You gotta be.
Ain't no shucking and jiving, y'all. It's all about win, win, win from here on out. No more losses. No more. I'm serious. No more losses.
Oh, I would love that. No more losses. Hashtag no more losses, y'all.
Yeah, put that out there. Hashtag.
No more
I don't
losses.
think the league could handle that.
Win one game at a time. Don't get big chested. Put it on the shelf, as Law said. Then go out there, get a game plan for the next man up. All we gotta do. And if anybody go down, the next man up need to step up. Special team, everybody need to do their part. Like I said, no shucking and jiving. Everybody handle business, and it'll game be won, and everything gonna work out. You can't doubt our Cowboys. If you doubt, let me tell you something. I got a meme. It say you got two things. You only got two choices. You either root for them or shut up.
Ooh.
If you doubt, I mean, that's what the meme say. I say be quiet. Yeah. PVO, everybody. I love y'all. I'm going to go back down to the chat. I just wanted to come up and say hi to everybody. Love y'all.
Salute, Miss Haggerty. Appreciate
Thanks for
you
joining.
as always.
Oh,
You know,
my,
she
that
made
was
me think of
awesome.
something.
Oh, okay.
Have we talked about special teams? Have we talked about Sam Williams as a gunner?
I mean, by all means. I mean, we can. Blocks a punt and gunner action. Sure.
I mean, I was just watching like, is that like when it was on the game?
Well, you know, the funny part about it was if we go back to training camp, right? He was on punt coverage and he chunked up the deuce as he ran by. I think it was Sean McEwen on punt coverage. And, you know, the funny part about it, right, simply is after the game was against the Chargers, right? He had the tweet of free me. Then he deleted it. Cowboys said, okay, you don't want to set the edge, you keep crashing down. We'll for you, go play special teams. And he walked through the door. Yeah. And that does create opportunities for you, right? Because we watched Adorance Armstrong, right?
Yeah.
Do things special teams that created opportunities for him. So, you know, when your number's called, no matter what it is, right, you got to step up. And, whether it was blocking that, which, by the way, Adorance Armstrong kind of helped him on that block point, but neither here nor there. But the gunner, I mean, Mary, we're talking about this kind of athlete as you're talking about. Is that Sam Williams out there, 6'4", 260? If you're the damn blocking cornerback, and you're like what? You
didn't even try.
Bro, you immediately went to the sideline.
He didn't try.
You went to the sideline be like,
he didn't try.
What?
It wasn't even. It was
I mean, he reached over 19 miles per hour. Like, can you imagine that coming at you? Like,
right, which is back to the frustrating part. And look, let me raise my hand. I was one of the guys here on this channel. I was good. Some of my compadres not as good as me, but I was good with the Sam Williams pick.
I was good with him. Yeah.
Now, I thought there would be more of an elevation in year 2 that has not come to fruition.
Agreed.
All right. Yeah, okay. It sucks. But once again, though, on special teams, and look, the number got caught. He did what he did. And maybe, that moves forward and he gets the opportunity, to develop because, from an athletic profile, right? He's a more athletic. He can be. He has the discipline or anything else, right? He's a more athletic D-Law build wise is where he lands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's where he lands. But he's gotta figure it out, man. That's just where it is. As he's saying, free him. We want you to be free too, fella.
Yeah.
We want you to be free as well.
Yeah.
But you gotta, especially in a game like this that we've talked about, stay in the rush lanes. Make sure you contain the edge. Don't crash down. You have to you can't play hero ball, right? You have to stay with your defensive keys and make sure no matter what, it's not about you in those moments. It's about being that piece that's how that bonds across that line and make sure you hold it down. So we'll see what happens, man. I still got faith. Look, you can see the talent, the athlete, and why they were drawn to him. But that quarterback, would you say, Dom? He said, "I ain't blocking him."
I caught the game on a 3-day delay because I was so busy last Sunday. And so I got to watch it and I was like, man, what is going on? I didn't see anybody post anything about it. First time I was like, who is this? Sam. Okay. Then he gets him a little block punt. Like he was all over. So like you said, definitely he walked through that door. And that's what you want to see. If you want to get out of the doghouse, you do things like that, and then you shall be set free.
Roy, can you hear us?
He can hear. Oh no,
Roy, talk. That's on your end, brother, because we can't hear you either. Go into your settings. Oh well, I didn't need you for you to leave.
Check your settings.
I meant for you to go into the settings, my guy. But once again, a 2-minute warning. Of course, he was in the space chopping it up about the Eagles as well. Hey, man, the link's there, man. Come on up here and chop it up as well too. Don't think you can't come up here and talk.
I mean, we haven't said anything homerish. I mean, if he's an Eagles fan, I'm sure he's used to hearing all kinds of stuff. We haven't even said anything crazy, so I don't know what he's all getting his panties in a bunch about.
He mad because Bradbury getting burned.
Like he is getting burned. Jalen Hurts is throwing more interceptions,
and they ain't even doing no double moves on him. You just ran right.
Yeah, like Terry McLaurin just ran right by him. Like, bro, that's for us to see. I mean, do you want us to like act like we didn't see it? I mean, I know I need glasses sometimes, but I had them in. When I watched the play. Like, I'm just saying.
Another thing I was going to say, an extension of our run game, or to kind of like put it in there, do y'all think over or under 2 jet sweeps for Dallas where they actually hand it off? Because one of the things I've noticed is that action that they have with CD. Like we saw it, I think, in the very first series of the Rams game, and we all wondered, was Pollard supposed to cut that thing back to the right? Because you saw Lamb come across the formation as soon as they snapped it, and it almost had that counter type action, but no, I don't know. It just looked odd. And then you saw the same kind of action this last week. So they keep doing it, but they're not handing it off to Lamb. It's just it makes it look counter-ish. So I just feel like, man, you saw when Cooks was able to get it into his hands on a sweep like that. We know that CD in the backfield with the creativity that the former OC brought in Kellen Moore by putting him in situations where he could run the ball, similar to what San Francisco does with Debo. So our receivers, let me just reword that. Our receivers getting 2, the over-under receivers getting 2 carries, actual rushes.
I'd say under.
Right.
I think under. I think Turpin will be the guy. Yeah.
I mean, you with the Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
One. We see one. I do
Yeah.
think we see one.
Yeah.
Don't think we see.
3.
I don't
And you
think.
said
I don't
over
think.
under
It,
2. So
yeah.
2, I'm still taking that would be a push, right? But I think
Right.
I'm
one.
taking one. Yeah. I think one.
What do you think, Spoon?
Under.
Somebody got
Yeah.
the TV. Whose TV's on? Who got the TV on right
I
now?
think that's Andrew talking loud. Hold on.
Oh, okay. You good. You good. You good. You good. He said, I think that's Andrew talking loud. She about to go in there and reading the rights. Reading the rights. All right. We'll give the keys offense, keys defensively. You know, obviously you want to play a clean game, right? You know, penalty wise, you know, for sure. Let's get to the scores.
I put that out there too. We have Trey Blake this matchup. He hasn't called a Cowboys or Eagles game this season. His crew's throwing 14 penalties per game, which is 2 above league average, 128 yards penalized per game, which is about 19 yards above league average. And their 2 most common flags this crew throws is false start and offsides. Cowboys never get offsides calls. Sorry, my bad. Offensive holding and false start. We never get offensive holding calls called against us. Micah can just be bear hugged. It doesn't matter. Will this crew actually call it? Will they be consistent with what they've done? Just curious to see. Will Lane Johnson get called for a false start? I know the Duke Manyweather, and a lot of people swear it's not a false start, but it's a false start.
Yeah,
will they get called? And we know that the league's kind of tightened down on that, especially with the offensive tackles lining up too far in the backfield because of what happened with the Chiefs earlier in the season. I'm interested to see how this game plays out from an officiating standpoint. I'm not saying this to set up an excuse because this crew has been this way the entire season. The Cowboys know that. They know what to expect, and the Eagles do too. They're calling it both ways. And actually, the away team has a higher win percentage with this crew than the home team.
Right.
So this is not to set up an excuse. It's just something to be aware of, and the players know that too because when they scout their opponents, they're also told by their coaching staff, hey, if you're grabby as a defensive back, they're going to call it this week. If you do this, they're going to call it this week. So they know what to expect as well. Just throwing that out there.
10-4. 10-4. 2 minute in the building. 2 minute. What's going on, brother? How we doing this Friday, bro?
What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you good to go, brother? Loud and clear, my guy.
What's going on? I was just sitting back chilling, listening to y'all. You know, somebody said they think Jalen has regressed. If you look at the numbers, he really hasn't. He threw a couple more interceptions than he threw last year, but his numbers is pretty close, if not better than last year.
How's his rushing numbers to last year at this point, though?
Yeah, but I'm good with that because I didn't want him to run as much as he ran last year.
But I know, but I'm just asking because when that was the talk about passing yards versus rushing yards last year, the Eagles side was like, no, you got throwing the rushing touchdowns. You got.
Oh, you mean as far as the combined?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Combined. Yeah, just combined wise. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, he's not running as much. He's probably been hurt. He's probably been hurt for probably 4 games, somewhere around that. So he hasn't been running as much. And I when the season started, I actually wanted that to be the case anyway. I didn't want him to run as much. I wanted him to save it when it became necessary, when we absolutely needed it, when he hasn't ran all game, but then he run that RPO and get that 15 yards that y'all not thinking about, you know, or a big game when we need a game for going to the playoffs or in the playoffs. So I'm actually good with him not running. Last game, he probably scrambled 1 time for like 10, 15 yards. And then the rest, he was in the pocket, threw for 320, 3 touchdowns, and was doing it with pretty much ease.
Okay. Obviously, turnovers are up, you know. Who regress was who? Who said the regress? I'll let them respond. My guy, Dom.
So you said if you look at the numbers, he really hasn't regressed.
Except for the interceptions. Yeah, obviously he's over his numbers.
Then you went on and gave the numbers of where he's regressed.
No, what I was saying about the interceptions, yes, it went up. But if you compare him to everybody else, everybody's around the 8 number right now. Mahomes is at the 8 number, and a couple other people are at the 8 number. So if you look at it like that, he started off bad, and that Jet game was like the worst game he has had since probably I would probably say that Jet game was like playoffs against Tampa Bay. That's how bad that game was. And then we had, as a team, we had 4 turnovers. And then on top of that, we still outgained them. So it was us shooting ourselves in the foot that was the reason why we lost that game. I mean, that last pick for them to get that last touchdown was absolutely horrific. That pass should have never been thrown. So it chalk it up to the bad game and you keep it moving.
Yeah, so I'm not even good at being troll guy. I'll say that for my boy Cole's Cowboy. He's perfect at it. That's his thing. He accepts it. He embraces it. And I think other people realize that about him. So I can't even be troll guy anymore. I only say those things to set up the perfect, put the ball perfectly on the tee to then knock it out of the park. Because what you said is basically the same things that we were saying about Dak Prescott in an anomaly of a year last year. And so I look at Hurts's interceptions and it's like tip ball, miscommunication with receivers, guys really not being in their spots, more tip balls. But then you'll get one where it's like, that's on you. Terrible throw. Just throw it away. Did you not see the defender? And really looking at it, I mean, he's on a pace to have a greater clip of interceptions than what Dak did last year as far as leading the league. But overall, when you looked at Dak's league-leading 15 interceptions, historically, that is the lowest for a league leader from the time.
I agree. Last year wasn't the norm. Everybody went crazy. He had a bad year, but that's not him every year to be throwing those type of interceptions. It was just that year.
Right.
People go crazy. The internet. They go crazy. They go over the top. But what I can say is off of Hurts having a bad series, like what game was? Oh, the Miami game. He got strip sacked. Or was that the intercept? No, he got strip sacked. They came down and they scored a field goal. Was that? I can't remember. It was a game that he gave up either a tip interception or the strip sack.
I think it was an interception.
The next series, he went straight down the field and scored a touchdown. That's what he's doing. Like he's making mistakes, but he's coming right back, boom, and correcting it. And then he's tying the game up, or he's getting us on the board. And it's not field goals, it's touchdowns. So that's the difference between the growth of him.
Right.
He makes that mistake, and then he fixes it right away, and he handles his business.
Right.
I can give him that, So yes, he's making more mistakes, and so I think somebody say he's taking more chances, and because he's looking for the deep thing. Deep ball, I have been noticing that, and it's actually a little annoying because last year we was bombs away, and he's looking for that this season, and it's a little annoying because it's a lot of underneath the swings coming out the backfield, the tight end right across the middle. It's there, but he's looking deep because that's what he was doing last season, and it's not always going to be there. And you're taking unnecessary sacks and throwing the ball away when you could have just got a quick 5 yards. So whoever said that, I totally agree.
Yeah. Hey,
I think it was the guy over top of me said that.
Yeah. So whenever you're looking at this game and you're trying to predict how it'll go, and some of the same questions we asked ourselves, what do you think the key is for you guys, or a couple of keys for you guys offensively to be able to attack our defense? What you looking to see?
I think we can run the ball on you. And the problem has been, somebody else said that we're pass happy. We are. Absolutely. 100%. I agree. We should be running the ball 60-40, and we're not. We're like 90-10 in the last couple games, and that's not acceptable. We got plenty of people to run. It just doesn't make sense when we got the offensive line we have. You don't have to throw that much. It's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. So I think running the ball, getting some play action going, get it to Goddard, mix it up like he's doing. Like now he's a little heavy on AJ right now because AJ's just on fire, dude. Anything he's throwing to him, he's just catching his double teams. It doesn't matter if it's curls, slants, whatever it is, he's catching and he's getting yak afterwards. So that's why he's going to him a little bit more. But before he got on this hot streak, he was moving it around a lot. And that's what I want to do. I want to run the ball, spread the ball around so you don't think that you can just key on one person offensively.
I'm sorry, did I miss? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good.
I'm kind of going to switch gears a little bit because I don't know what I missed. Did you address any of the things we said regarding the secondary or just your defense in general?
I didn't get to that. We was talking offensively first.
So what do you think? So we said that your secondary can be had. They both struggled, Slay and Bradbury.
No, y'all said y'all was going to toast this, basically.
Oh, no, we said we could.
Oh, no. Yeah. If we block up your front,
that y'all going to roast it. I was
like,
if we block up that front,
keep it. Okay, let me keep it clear.
Up that front, you're getting roasted.
Yeah, if our O-line holds up, Dak will cook. I'm just interested in what your thoughts are about how they've been so far this season and what you think specifically about this game.
Not consistent. I actually said that on Nick's on Twitter Spaces earlier. It not consistent. I was telling him tomorrow Sunday would be the second time that every player has played 2 consecutive games this whole season. We have had safeties out on both safeties. We have had both corners out. We have had linebackers out. We have had linemen out. I mean, this is just crazy that how many people have been in and out of the lineup. And then if you don't even talk about the line, let's just talk about the secondary. Our slot safety went out the first game. So we either had an undrafted free agent at there. We have had a rookie or a vet that wasn't. He was just mediocre. We bring in Roby. Roby gets hurt. Now he's out. He's not playing this week. So it's just like crazy been back there. So that's not an excuse because it's still unacceptable the way we've been getting sliced and diced, but that's part of the reason. And then inconsistent play, Bradbury being up in somebody's face for bump and run and don't touch him and just let him go past him. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Why are you up front? Why are you in somebody's face and then you don't touch him? You just let him go by. Somebody on Washington did that.
Yes.
I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you up there for if you're not going to touch him? It doesn't make sense. He blew right past him like Olay. Just go ahead and go past me. I didn't get it. So those type of stupid things have been happening. We haven't been physical. No, very little bump and run. I mean, it's just been a little soft to me. One, right before half. Was that right? Yeah, right before half. They just let them. They had like 40 seconds to go, 50 yards or whatever it was, and just let them go down on dinks and dunks because we was playing too soft. Just stuff like that has just been very inconsistent and annoying this year. But then you come back and you play Miami. How we played in the secondary against Miami. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Obviously, we're going to have to play that type of game to be able to be successful on Sunday. And if we do that soft bullshit that we did against Washington last week, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
Sam Howell, 397 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I just want to say real quick too, Dom and you were talking earlier about the difference in turnovers this year with Jalen. We understand as Cowboys Nation, turnovers are not always. It may be a quarterback stat, if that's at least the way that people portray it, but that's not always the case because of tip balls and things like that. Just to talk about Hurts last year versus this year, though, some of the differences. Hurts had 12 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions last year, 13 and 8 this year. So obviously, the interceptions are out of whack compared to last year. One of the things that I think is worth mentioning. That's through the first 8 games. Yep, just through 8 games.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing that's different though is when you talk about forced fumbles. He had 5 fumbles last year in the first 8 games, but only 1 lost. This year, he only has 3 fumbles, so he's done a better job, but all 3 are lost. So, again, that's not always a reflection of the quarterback because you may get hit right when you're trying to throw, and then they just recover it, things like that. Sometimes turnovers, and we talk about that a lot because takeaways have been king for the Cowboys. You can't always bank on them. They're volatile. It's crazy that the Cowboys have led the NFL in takeaways 2 straight years. It doesn't happen very often for a reason, just because the volatility of that. You're not always in the right position at the right time to get an interception. You don't always have a hand tip the ball to get the just kind of how things have gone there. My question for you is, losing the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, we talked about both sides of the ball so far. Obviously, you're 7-1, so you're still in really good shape so far through the season. Which of those losses do you think is more noticeable? Which side of the ball do you think the loss of the OC or DC has been most notable for the Eagles?
I would say both. I knew that going in. Actually,
no, you got to pick one.
Oh, you want me to pick one?
You got to pick one.
I'll probably say the offense, because the defense hasn't been that as bad as we've played. We're not that far off of our pace of giving up points. Like, we gave up 19 something, almost 20 last year, and we're like almost 22 this year. So I can't say that. The offense really struggled in the beginning of the year. We had, think about it like this. Swift didn't even get 1 carry in the New England game, and that was our first game of the season. Not one, the whole game. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, what the hell is going on? Like, so, and he does some things in the red zone. I still see that his play selection is bad, where we should be getting him more downfield. He's running, to me, way too many screens, and I'm talking about the wide receiver screens out in the perimeter. He's doing that way too much. He catches some people sometimes, but I think he's using that as a weapon way too often and is going for no gain. As far as Hurts with the ball security, real quick, that's all I think it is. I think he's being way too careless with the rock. That one against Miami, he just wasn't paying attention to who was around him. The one he did one in Miami, against the Patriots in the first game. We had the lead. All we had to do was run some clock, and the game was over. And he lets the guy punch the ball out. Dude, you know better than that. So little stuff like that he knows better. He just being careless with the ball. So I think definitely the offensive coordinator has been way more of an issue than the defense. To answer your question.
10-4, Spoonie, you got anything for our guy? 2 minutes.
Yeah, I want to ask, in your opinion, for your the Eagles offense and defense, what's your biggest weakness? Like, what's your biggest concern between the offense and the defense? Just one thing.
Are you talking about against the Cowboys or just in general?
Yeah, against the Cowboys that you're worrying about.
Exposing our linebackers. Exposing our linebackers. If y'all do that right, y'all can expose them. Like I said earlier too on Nick's Twitter space, the kid is, I think, and again, I don't know because he didn't play. Somebody said that earlier. Somebody said something about Dean. He played special teams and mop-up duty when we were blowing people out. That's the only time he played last year. This year, he was out for he played the first game, got hurt in the second half, so was out the whole second half, basically, and then went on IR for 3 games, and now he's back. So he really, talk about a rookie. He's rookie of rookies. He's got the dot. So he is green beyond being green dot. So you can take advantage of him in certain things as far as backs out the backfield, linebackers, tight ends. So I am worried about that, and I think we should have had a little bit more experience. We have it, but they want to play him. Morrow was playing very well when Dean was out. Now Morrow isn't playing that much. Cunningham is in there, and Morrow was doing okay, but they want the kid to play. So we're going to have to take some growing pains with it if they want the kid to play. So that's a weakness, 100%. You just have to take advantage of it.
10-4. All right, well, let's get to the root to the tutor. 2-minute warning. Give us a score in the winner.
I think we're going to, of course, I think we're going to win, but I think I don't, just my opinion. I just don't trust your quarterback on the road to score over 25 points. So I'm calling it 27-17. I just don't think he can score enough points. And he hasn't proven to me that he can score enough points. And I did hear you say, and I forgot about it. I'm not going, I admit when I'm wrong. I did hear you say last night, one of the times when I woke up, that you said, you called me out on the Tampa game. That was a big game, 100%.
Because you asked me the question, right?
Yes, 100%. So I forgot about that. So I'm not going to lie. But besides that, other games, somebody put up a graphic, ESPN, Fox, somebody, road to home, he doesn't play the same. It's a lot. It's like a huge difference between touchdowns and interceptions at home. And then it's a lot closer on the road. It's only, I think it's like something like 3 away from each other. But touchdowns, the interceptions at home are like 25 away from each other. So he doesn't play the same. Yes, he played. I looked at the stats against the Chargers. He played pretty good. And his completion percentage was good. But how many points did y'all score? So that's my point. Huh? Yeah. 100%. It is. If it's 1 point, it's enough to win. I get it. But I think you need to score more than that. We're not the Chargers. I think we're going to score some points, and I think you need to score points, enough points to beat us, and it's got to be over 25, in my opinion.
Okay. All right, Mary, what's the score in the winner?
I think the Cowboys win. I think the Eagles are a very good team. The times I've watched them, if we play our game and what we know they're capable of, I don't think that we will lose to them. Not this week. And he has good games against Philly. And he has good games in Philly. You said he needs at least 25. I'm giving him 31. 31-21.
Can I stop you real quick? Just for
I said what I said, 2-minute warning.
I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry. Can we stop saying this 8-3, please?
I didn't even say that.
It's not
but
legit.
I'm saying, but what I'm saying is, look, Dak
all be honest?
Look, y'all claim how hard it is to play in the link, regardless of who's on the field. You just talked about, you admitted how bad your secondary is. You admitted it. Yeah. You admitted that they've been bad. Sam Howell, 4 touchdowns last week.
He lit us up like Joe Montana.
Dak can do that. Dak can do that. He's proven he can do it. He's proven he can do it. He's proven he can.
I doubt if he could do that.
Why would you doubt it when you've seen it before? Like you hoping he can't.
He did have that good game in Dallas last year. He did have that good game in Dallas.
The fan in you wants to
you remember that 3rd and 30?
Mm-hmm. The fan in you wants to think.
Oh my God! I was losing my mind on that play,
and I was losing my mind too.
I lost my mind on that. I can't believe that happened. But I just want y'all to stop saying. I seen 80 million people. That's 8-3. That's 8-3.
Well, now 2 minutes. Now there's some history here. Now, hold on, wait, pause though. But here's some history now. You want to talk about the 8-3? But now we was in these streets, and me and you are old enough. 2-minute warning when y'all was over there telling us that Carson Wentz is better than Dak Prescott. Last time I checked, Carson Wentz is on the street. Yeah, Carson Wentz is on the streets. Yeah. So dadgummit, if you're going to sit there and not you personally, we didn't know each other then, but in general, as Eagles fans were trying to tell us that Carson Wentz was a better guy than Dak Prescott, he's on the streets right now. Damn it, we're going to ride to the wheels fall off that he's 8-3 against the damn Eagles. I don't know what else you want me to do.
To be clear, I didn't even say that.
And this divisional time, I don't care, Stargate. I said it. I
just hear it all the time. And 2 to 3 of those games meant absolutely nothing. Like the one he threw 5 touchdowns.
Okay, fair enough. So he's 6-3.
Right. That's more.
You like that better? You like six? Does that make you feel better at night?
No, not really. But I just hear it so much. It just boils my blood.
Of course. We gotta remember though, if you're taking the wins away, you gotta take the losses away too, because one of Dak's losses is when we put in backup quarterbacks when he played early in the game in a meaningless game week 17. So it happens. It goes both ways.
What game was
that? That was Mark Sanchez's loss.
Yeah.
What'd you say against who?
That was Mark Sanchez.
Quarterback.
Mark Sanchez. But anyways, like I was saying.
Dak started. Dak started. Tony Romo came in, and then Mark Sanchez came in and played basically the rest of the second quarter through the end of the game. So that's one of those things you're talking about too. If you want to take away the wins, that's cool. Then take away one of the losses.
So 6-2. So 6-2. Yeah. If we take away the meaningless games, the Cowboys are 6-2. We'll settle out a court on that.
But
Dak
you just sat
6-2
here
then.
and admitted that your secondary be getting cooked like Thanksgiving turkey, and then get mad at me.
Wow, I ain't say that bad. You said it that bad.
I'm just.
Actually,
I translated it, and that's what it came out to.
Getting cooked like Thanksgiving turkey is actually a positive. They getting cooked like the burnt sweet potato pie, the burnt crust part on the sweet potato pie.
I mean, cooked is cooked. I mean,
that breaks off and fall at the bottom of the oven.
That's all. Ooh, yeah, don't.
Yeah, no, man.
I'm saying they're getting cooked real good, meaning like. We gonna enjoy.
I'm ready for my prediction. Come on, Spoonie, we missed you last week, and I had a bold prediction of 42-17 Cowboys against the Rams. And what was the final score? 43-20. So very close. This week.
You know what's funny? I picked 41-21 on BJ show.
Yeah. Y'all PSF. Yeah. Y'all was swinning. Y'all didn't even know it.
So I did that because we were without Spoon. I ain't going that bold this week.
I thought I was waiting for it. I thought you was about to say.
Nah, I ain't going that bold. However, it's still gonna be bold enough.
Okay.
I got the Cowboys winning 31-20.
Okay, so a little off from me. It's a close. Okay.
He's shutting that thing down.
And you know what? I would be thoroughly impressed if y'all could hold us to 20 points. I would be thoroughly impressed.
Oh, just wait till my score. Just wait 2 minutes. Go ahead, Stoney.
Well, deep down, I'm going to send, because I've been away for 2 weeks too long. So I'm going to lift you up and put you in my circle and stay with the 40 burgers, because I've been very consistent and on point this whole season. So as it gets to the spooning service, I'm going to acknowledge you, and I'm going to say, pardon me, you're going to acknowledge the Dallas Cowboys in their defense, because we're going to beat you 40-17. We will hold you down below the 20 points. We will show up. We will open up everybody's eyes and give some damn good material on Monday quarterback. Because then the question is going to be, who's better than the Cowboys in the NFC?
That would be an ass whipping. That's not a win. That's an ass whipping. You're going 40-17.
What's wrong with ass whippings? We've been giving them out.
Four times. Nobody else in the league's been doing it like we have for 4 times. It is what it is. But all right, now we find out. Now we come back to Earth. Maybe, I don't know. Is it Professor O, ladies and gentlemen, or is it Professor Ops? Which Professor O do we have this week, ladies and gentlemen? In the chat, drop it. Is it going to be Professor O or Professor Ops in the chat? What's it going to be this week? As O will roll it out and give you the score. Is it O or Ops this week? Go right ahead.
Yeah, so I became Professor Ops when we played the 49ers, and I said I didn't like the energy in the building. I didn't like the comments and putting the 49ers on this pedestal. I felt like we were mentally in the wrong space going into that game. They were in our heads. I don't love the energy I'm getting this week either. I have to be honest, and I learned my lesson.
So hold on.
I've done this.
Did
I've done this
you
before.
predict the loss?
Yeah, I predicted the loss against the 49ers.
Oh, wow.
And it was way worse than what I thought it'd be
I
a
did
close
too.
loss
I did
because of what we did the last 2 times in the playoffs. They were close games, one score. I'm like, something like that. That's what I'm expecting. I didn't expect them to curb stomp us, but they did.
Curb stop.
I mean, that's the most accurate way I can describe that game. So
What
I
they
didn't
did, they
love
hurt
the
the
energy
shit
this
out of
week
us.
either.
I mean,
I don't love the energy this week either, but I feel more optimistic because of the mental space the Cowboys are in versus the Eagles, because we have matched up pretty well against them under the Dak Prescott era, as we talked about dissecting what wins and losses matter. But overall, we've done a pretty good job. This game's going to be close either way. I don't expect a blowout from either side. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to go
Nice.
You don't sound
21
sure about that, boss.
I mean, I'm not too sure. You never know what Cowboys team's gonna show up. So I'm gonna go
That's
21 to 20, and I think we
Woo!
scrape
Okay.
by. Yeah, 21-20, which I'll be happy
giving us
to
a
win.
little respect.
That's where I'm at.
Giving us a little bit. Jeez. Okay.
Hey, I gave
All
you
right.
21 points. I think that's respectful.
But your score was like 31, though.
Yeah.
it's only
I
10
mean, you
points.
said
Only
we can't
10.
score 25, so you don't have no respect.
I said that can't score 25, not your team. I don't think he scores 25. But go ahead.
Fair.
Yeah. I think it's look, the last 2 games, our offensive coordinator, offensive scheme being different is trending this way. I think there's some things. Look, I think the Eagles need the bye week in the worst way currently with certain things that are happening. I think when you have, and we've seen this in Cowboys land, whenever you have a veteran coordinator versus rookie coordinators, that gives you an advantage. And look, I've seen people say it. O talked about it a little bit earlier. You know, hey, you just can't continuously win this way, right? That's what's talked about. You can't continuously.
I mean, Eagles fans
You can't
love
do
to
it.
say
You can't
that
do
to
it.
us.
You
Yeah.
can't do it. Here's what I also know. You can't continuously win the way that if we're going to go that route, well, you can't continuously keep winning the way the Eagles are winning then.
Exactly.
It can't be that way either, right? But here's the thing that I do know.
100%.
Here's the thing I do know. There's a history of the Cowboys defense of getting turnovers since Dan Quinn's walked through the door. 30, led the league back to back. First time since the Steelers did it 3 straight times. Cowboys on pace to do it again. And unfortunately, right now with the rookie offensive coordinator and where your quarterback is currently, and look, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a bad player. However, he's turned the ball over 11 times. That's a problem against a team that capitalizes and makes turnovers. So, yeah, man, I think, this isn't indicative of how the second round game will be between us, but I think where the teams are currently, how things are trending, and what's going on, I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I'm not going as far as Spoonie. Pause.
Yeah.
I'm not going that far. But I do think the game is 34-17 Cowboys.
Ooh.
I do think it's that. And I said that on
I
the
love
space.
it.
I've said it for 2 or 3 days now. I'm sending 10 toes down on that. Again, just there's things that are here that you look at, the context underneath the surface about these 2 teams right now that add up the right kind of way. And they're not talking as much on San Francisco. They're just acknowledging what it is.
if y'all drop anything 30 on us, we got a long bye week to talk.
Hey, I got a better one for you. Because, see, I listened to you. Because you said that can't score 25. He won't. He'll score 24, and Blaine will get a 7. That'll be 31. And then we'll get an extra field goal. How about that?
So you think you're counting on a pick 6?
No,
I
just
mean,
for you. Just for
the
you.
thing is like that's points. I mean,
Just for you, sir.
take it.
Just for
thanks.
you.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
About
2 minutes.
this for you.
Yeah, 2 minutes, man. Appreciate you, brother, man. You've been good all week. I mean, obviously, we've been rocking for over a year now and everything else, man. I know we had to kind of needle you to get you up here, but I know you give really good takes when it comes to the Eagles, and I want you to kind of share your thoughts and give it to our fan base as well, our subs and everything, to kind of put it out there. By all means, before you get out of here and we pivot the show, then tell people where to find you, where they can go follow you, anything else, anything you want to plug. By all means, the floor is yours, my friend.
I'm on all socials, Instagram, TikTok at the 2 Minute Warning. So you can find me anywhere on all of those social media outlets. I'm always tweeting, and I'm all Phillies, everything too. I'm still upset that the Phillies was not in that World Series. I'm still feeling that.
Yeah. No, you should be happy because you'd have to look at the Rangers beating y'all right now, and then Cowboys beating y'all on Sunday. It's a blessing in disguise, sir. It's a blessing in disguise.
Oh my God!
So y'all make sure to go over there and give him hell, Cowboys Nation, but just be prepared. If things don't go right Sunday, he'll be sure to cook something up for you.
And by the way, I'm a straight up fan. I can't speak for the Eagles fan. I'm a straight up fan. I'm not going to duck. I don't hide. I don't run. I'm right there. If we play awful, we got our ass whipped. I'm gonna tell you, it is what it is. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate you too, man.
Brother.
Have a good night.
All right.
All right. Let's pivot. Where we headed next? Mary. Well, Mary, you as you're here in the back show,
I gotta finish.
You're going
packing.
on vacation. You got what time you leave? What time you leaving?
I gotta be at the airport by 7 a.m.
Yee!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God! All right, Mary. Well, let's roll the red carpet, then we'll pivot the rest of the show. Excuse me. Going to spots unknown. Will you be back next Friday?
Nope, I won't be back till the week after.
See, this is how you know people are rich whenever they're like, hey, look, I'm going on vacation in November and I'll be gone for like 3 weeks. That's how you know people are rich.
Not that long.
To undisclosed locations, I'm out.
Money Mary. Money Mary.
Yeah, Money Mary. Yeah, that's the new name, Money Mary. Money Mary. First and foremost, hope you and the clique have a good time. Absolutely safe travels no matter what. And here's what at least I do know. When the Cowboys do win Sunday, there's that one Android Eagles user that you can give the business to.
Oh, it's happening. Oh, yeah.
Make his life hell.
Obviously.
Make his life hell.
Last time we threw his Eagles hat in the ocean, and that was great.
Do it again.
Real quick, Mary, are you guys, do you have a midget wrestling book this time or not? We
No, we do not.
No midget.
You don't have a single friend that's looking for her future husband at the midget wrestling matches?
No, not this time.
All right.
Okay. All right. No nudist resorts or anything else, right? Y'all go to no nudist resort? I mean,
no,
I don't know.
none of that.
Okay. Be safe. Last word for Cowboys Nation before you get out of here, Mary.
Don't tuck it. Let it hang. Let that cook.
Let's
Three
go.
most important things. Let's do it.
Have a safe trip, and we'll holler at you when you get back.
Bye, y'all.
Peace. All right. What do we got next? So, what we got next? Where we going next?
So we got to get some Knicks picks redemption time.
That was pretty good last week. No,
you were. You had a 4-2 week. You picked Duke and the Browns wrong. But those were both. Well, Duke was not a close game, but the Browns game was very close.
No.
Could have went either way.
It was. Okay, 4-2.
So,
4-2, bounce back.
So where we're at right now, heading into this week, Knicks is 18-12 on his Knicks picks. There's a couple weeks that I haven't went back to listen to yet, but the games that I've calculated,
they're undefeated.
You may have crushed it there. I don't know. Yeah, so you're 18-12 going into this week. This week in college football and the NFL, we have some absolute bangers, some great games. So we're going to start with the college games. Knicks, 23 Kansas State versus number 7 Texas. So Texas at home, the 3.5-point favorites. Is Texas back?
First and foremost, Texas is not back. Okay, they're not. They're not back. But they do win this game. I like the backup. I like the energy. I think it gets them more to what they should have been doing more so anyways. So, yes, I think Texas is back.
All right, so we got Texas over Kansas
Hey, by the way,
State.
hold on. I want to say, by the way, real quick, and just pull my card on the Georgia-Florida game. I said they would win by 3 touchdowns.
They did.
I went over the spread, and they did. Just
yeah.
Another.
All right, so Knicks had 4.5 right. 4.5 right last week. We're going to give them an extra point, extra half point for that. All right, number 9 Oklahoma, coming off of a loss versus number 22 OK State.
Yeah.
Oklahoma is a
Rivalry.
6-point favorite on the road.
Rivalry.
You taking
rivalry.
Oklahoma or Oklahoma State?
I think Oklahoma bounces back. I think the coaching staff is different there. And there was some different things happening. I'm going to go Oklahoma on the road.
All right. Last college game. Number 14 LSU.
Yeah.
At number 8 Bama. Bama's a 3-point favorite at home.
Upset alert. I'm a road warrior. I like it. I'm going with it. I'm going to LSU.
I like it. All right, NFL. We have the 6-2 Miami Dolphins versus the 6-2 Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's favored by 1.5 points. Who are you taking?
In effing Germany. We all got to wake up early. Now, granted, a little extra sleep per se. We got to wake up early. I'll be honest with you. I got the Dolphins. I'm rolling with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins get the dub.
All right, so we got Dolphins there. 5-2 Seattle Seahawks versus the 6-2 Ravens. Ravens are at home, 6-point favorites.
I think Ravens are cooking. Not only do I think they're cooking, I think they're the best team in the AFC. I think they're currently the best team in the AFC. I like Seattle's acquisition, obviously, when they got Leonard Williams to help solidify the middle of their defense. But I think it's Baltimore, though.
Taking the Ravens. All right, so you got Miami winning and Baltimore winning. Last game, 5-3 Bills at the 4-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow looks like he's coming back to life a little bit. Bengals are favored by 2.
Shicey's cooking. Bills, man, look, they're kind of up and down. They're kind of back and forth. I think, we've seen this from Cincinnati, ladies and gentlemen. Bad start, turn it up. Yeah, come on, man. Give me the Bengals, man. Taking the home team. Going Bengals.
All right, so recapping. Nick's picks for the week. He has Texas beating Kansas State, Oklahoma beating Oklahoma State, LSU beating Bama, Miami beating Kansas City, Seattle losing to Baltimore, and the Bengals beating the Bills. So Nick's went with 3 road teams and 3 home
less than
teams.
last week. Yeah, that's more than last week, I think.
A little balance there. It's nice.
However, I'm not going to be. To be honest with you, though, I don't feel great about picking Oklahoma. Let's be honest with you. I don't feel great about it, but it is what it is.
My bad. You went with 4 road dogs this week and 2 home teams.
Yeah,
Miami technically is away. Technically.
Yeah, man, they're in. Come on, man. They're in Germany.
They're the road team. They're the away team.
Look,
they're the away team.
Let's be honest.
Rules are rules, sir.
No, if it was the Jacksonville Jaguars in London, that's a home team. Outside of that, they're all road teams.
Fair. So you're 18-12. You need a big week this week. Let's see if you bounce back. So Dom, what game are you watching this week? Give me one college game because we're almost at the 2-hour mark. So we got to do this quick. What's your college game you want to talk about?
The college game I'm looking for is the LSU-Alabama game, and it's because I see an interesting thing that could potentially develop for the NFL Draft 2024 version. So LSU has always had dynamic receivers. Jamar Chase was the first receiver taken in his class. Justin Jefferson was also on that LSU team. He was taken a little bit later, pick 21 or whatever it was, to the Vikings. Our guy CeeDee Lamb went ahead of him. But Justin Jefferson has taken the league by storm, and looking at him historically, through 5 seasons, he is the number 1 receiver in all of the history of the league. Everybody knows about Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is lighting it up. 17.1 yards averaging per catch for LSU. He's been one of the top receivers talked about in this class, and he's there behind. He's arguably the number 2 receiver here in this class behind Marvin Harrison Jr. of Ohio State. But Brian Thomas is the other receiver for LSU, who's number 11, who has over 700 yards with 40-something receptions this season. It could almost turn into can he be a better pro than even a collegiate player? Can he be like that Justin Jefferson type where, I'm not saying he's going to be that great, but really Jefferson is the better receiver, it seems, than even Chase. Of course, geography lottery makes a big difference. But look for Brian Thomas Jr. As he continues to finish out this season. Brian Kelly, the head coach. This is one of those ball games where this is why you went to LSU. You went to try to be able to beat the big dog Alabama, who embarrassed you a couple of times while you were there in South Bend, Indiana, with the Irish. So look for the receivers, and then also Jaden Daniels, the quarterback for LSU. He's been lighting it up, kind of one of those dark horse candidates for Heisman, and he's only allowed his draft stock to go up. So he's looking like he's creeping into that day 2 status as a quarterback. And plus, I always like to see Alabama go down. So go Tigers.
10-4.
You crushed it. That's the game I was going to point out too. Obviously, Georgia Missouri I highlighted earlier is a big matchup, so I'm going to be paying attention to that, and it should be a really good game overall. But the LSU Bama game, in my opinion, is the best game to watch. If we were going to throw out any other game, Washington versus USC, you're going to see a ton of scoring.
Yeah, that's mine. That's mine. Yeah, I mean,
if you like offense, you'll see a lot of offense that game.
Right. Right. And you're talking about the quarterbacks, right? You're talking about Penix. You're talking about Caleb Williams, right? This will decide to a certain extent the Heisman Trophy race as well too, and what's moving forward. So yeah, for me, it's the Washington USC game I'm looking at.
Thomas is that name though when you talk about wide receivers that are emerging. I mean, Dom mentioned it. He's 6'4", 6'5", has 11 touchdowns already in 8 games. Like, he's a name that is skyrocketing up from where he was preseason. Keon Coleman, we've talked about several times too, is another name that's just flown up the boards. But you have Rome Odunze still having a good year. You have Xavier Worthy. You have A.D. Mitchell from Texas has kind of stepped up. You have Emeka from Ohio State. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. There's a lot. Malik Neighbors. There's a lot of good wide receivers in this class, and kind of like the quarterbacks, where number 1 and 2 are pretty solidified on who they are. The order may change as we get closer to draft season. Wide receiver 1, it's solidified who that is. But wide receiver 2 through 6 could be any of those guys. There's a lot of good names, and there's some names I didn't even mention yet too, like Squirrel White from Tennessee is having a really good season. There's several wide receivers you could throw in contention there.
Malachi Corley, Western Kentucky. Tez Walker. It's such a robbery what the NCAA did with him early year, but he's coming on strong with UNC. And then you got
his first game he showed out. Jesus.
Yeah, Troy Franklin from Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Who's also showing out. I mean, it's just going to be a stacked wide receiver class, and that thing's going to last all the way through 3rd round, where you're looking at that board going, how in the world is this player still available?
Sheesh.
You guys are not going to watch the Dallas Cowboys next running back?
Oh.
Arkansas against Florida, Raheem the Rocket. Raheem Rocket Sanders.
Okay, so that's awesome.
Next running back. I'm telling you that right now. There's a big boy right there. So, he's not playing the greatest thing, but I hope the Cowboys do draft him. If the scouts like what they see, they do their homework, he's a Cowboy. I can't wait for next year for that.
All right, well, Spoonie, you've been off for 2 weeks. What better time to come back than right before we play the Eagles? Dom, you got your tamales ready?
I got my plate.
Ladies and gentlemen, look, I cannot be responsible for your headphones or anything else. Make sure your volume is adjusted properly in that realm. And here we go. The 5-2 Cowboys versus the 7-1. Do you think? Oh, I know you got some things to handle in the background. Go right ahead, good sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is officially time. It's been a long time. What's the old song that Timbaland them did? Oh, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope sermon to step to, if you will. Spoonie, the sermon and the floor is all yours, sir.
Respect. Something the Dallas Cowboys of the 2023 season is not getting. When the Eagles played the New England Patriots, they won 25-20. The Eagles won. They're a great team. The Cowboys played them afterwards, 38-3. They're just the Patriots. When the Eagles played the New York Jets, they lost 14-20 to the Jets. When the Cowboys beat them 30-10, this is the Jets. They ain't nobodies. And recently, when the Eagles beat the LA Rams 23-14, the Dallas Cowboys came out and beat the Rams 43-20. They just the Rams. Matthew Stafford got banged up. You see, Dak Prescott has been the bulletproof vest for everybody else. Every time the Cowboys do something better than what the last team, like the Philadelphia Eagles, done, they just that team. So now we understand what we have to do. We understand now. And what we have to do is not just have, what we're going to do is that we're going to clip them fucking wings on Sunday. I'm serious. Yes, we got beat up by the 49. It was a rude awakening. That Cardinals game wasn't a rude awakening. The Niners game, it was one of those games that a lot of teams face towards the end of the season where they got to pick themselves up and find themselves all over again. See, that happened early for us. And ever since that game, you see a difference. We started to see the identity of this offense. We're seeing the defense stay active. We're seeing the defense doing great things, even though we lost all pros, Trayvon Diggs, and people have felt that we will lose because of that. The Ron Blanc has came in there and said, hey, I got the spot. I'm going to take the charge. I'm going to hold it down for Diggs, and we're going to continue and stay what we're doing. But you see, it's not good enough. It's not good enough until we go to Philadelphia at the Lincoln and spank that ass and clip them wings. Clip them wings, bring them to a Chinese restaurant, and let them sell them shits. See, that's what we got to do. And we are going to do that. You understand why? Because this team is ready for it. They want it. If you heard Javon Curse, what he said this week, he says, I'm not about talking. It's about doing it. And the whole winter that we're discovering other players, Bell, Javon Thomas, coming in, making a difference as much time as they give on this defense, doing different things. This is the game that come Monday morning, those frauds in the national media are going to be looking at them back and forth with the producers. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to say? Because we're going to look stupid now. And I'm telling you this right now, Eagles fans, respectfully, all love. We're going to send the tush push your asses out to the bye week to sit there and think about what just happened. Y'all celebrate every single little thing, the tush push, the brotherly love. Oh, we're going to give you some brotherly love. We're going to give it to y'all the way y'all need to be getting it. Because at this time right now, we will take our throne on top of the NFC East and claim we are on our way to the top. The new discussion is going to be the Dallas Cowboys have figured shit out. The new discussion is going to be Dak Prescott is real. He is the best quarterback in the NFC. Hell, the way he's playing, he's probably the best quarterback in the NFL, and y'all know that. Y'all bring up the stats, we'll bring it up. Mark my words. It's not only going to be a victory. We're going to take you guys out. And we're going to put a stamp on it. It tells everybody, Doomsday defense is back. This team is on its way to do something. And we're going to be talk the whole NFL. Stephen A. Smith, be ready to put us in the top 5.
Okay. Talk that talk, Spoon. Talk that talk. Man. Yeah. It's been too long since I heard a sermon, Dom. It's been too long. I mean, if you ain't ready now for Sunday's game, I don't know what to. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Came out the weeds with that one.
Yeah.
Chicken wings. Chicken wings.
Barbecue.
Duck sauce, soy sauce, whatever you want.
Duck,
Clipping them wings.
Sauce, soy sauce. Barbecue chicken. It is what it is. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, man, we appreciate y'all giving your time on a Friday night. Now at 2 hours and 10 minutes, man. Suits everybody in the building, everybody that came up on there. Big shout out to Miss Haggerty who came through and blessed us. Sorry that you had some issues with your earphones. And of course, a 2-minute warning from the Eagles side to come up here and give us a response and a little back and forth there about them. Man, super fun. Been too long after, some things happening, wherever the case may be. As the Rich Gang is in the building. I see my Rich Gang brethren in the building. Mendoza, Weed earlier. Who else we got here? Well, come on, man. Where's my other Rich Gang brother at? Is he not? Did he leave? I know he didn't leave. TC's in the building too. What's up, TC? Shout out to the Rich Gang, aka Mods Extraordinaire. As always, the message is simple, man. Like, follow, subscribe, man. Free 99 to go tell a friend. To tell a friend as we keep building this channel, keep doing what we're doing. Man, enjoy your weekend. Great football on deck, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday football there for my wrestling fans. We got Crown Jewel like at noon, but it is what it is. And then of course football side, NFL Sunday, man. We got a ton there too, man. So great weekend on deck. Hopefully everybody is safe. Be blessed. Last word from you, Dom and Spoon. Last word, Dom. What you got?
Enjoy the ride.
Boom. Spoon. Last word from you.
Dominate, and then we're gonna celebrate Sunday night.
Dominate and celebrate. Like it. Hey, man, no matter what it is, man, it's always forward. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch y'all. You already know the drill. Post game space for sure going down. PSF app, Pro Sports Fan app. Me and Lando are through doing the live shows, but our girls, She Wants to D podcast, they do the live stream. So if you have not downloaded the Pro Sports Fan app on Android or iOS, make sure you get over there, download that. We're in there chopping it up all the time, dropping stats, doing things, and we got shows over there as well too. So yeah, I mean, we out. Peace.